In this video, we're going to discuss the document behavior. So this should be a pretty quick and simple one. But here we have a little document there on the ground, and when I cursor over the document, you can see I get a little prompt that says E to look at the document. So I'm going to press E, and the document comes up on the screen. Notice where the prompt text was displaying there at the bottom of the screen. That's going to be important in a few minutes. And then we see the document here at the top left corner of our screen. And if we press Q, we place the document back on the ground. Okay. Go. So let's take a look and see how this is set up. Let's step through the settings and look how this is put together. So we have a prompt text. So like I said, when I walk over and I cursor over the document, I get a prompt that says press E to look at the document. The pickup range is just going to be how close does the player need to be in order to see that prompt and interact with the document. The return text is the text that we see at the bottom of the screen that prompts the user to know what to do once they're done looking at the document. The X and Y are coordinates, and so the X is going to be horizontal, Y is going to be vertical. So this is giving us an indication that it's going to be somewhere in this area here is where the document's going to display. Now we can balance that out. We can move that around. Maybe you want it to be more center of the screen or wherever you want. So just dial that in until you get it just where you want it to be. The sprite size is actually a percentage. So if we look at the text up here, we can see that set the sprite size percentage. So 15 must be 15% of the screen. Obviously 50 would be 50% of the screen, and so on. And that's going to play a key role in terms of where you place the document, right? If you make the document too large, it might go off the screen if your XY coordinates aren't set appropriately. So dial that in and make sure it looks nice for your setup. We also have the image file. So in this case, what I did was I found a little snippet of paper, like an image somewhere on the internet, and then I put that into Photoshop, and I put in some kind of handwritten looking numbers on there, just a random number, and then uploaded or imported the image so that I could use that as the image file that's being presented as the document. So it can really be any image that you want. And then here below the image file, we have the prompt display, and our options are local and screen. So what does that mean? So what it means is when I cursor over the document, where should the prompt text appear? If I cursor over the document and I choose local, that's going to be right next to what I'm pointing at. But if I choose screen, and this is why I said, pay attention to where it's showing up at the bottom of the screen. If I choose screen, then it'll show up at the bottom of the screen. So will the return text. So, depending on your setup, you may want it to display at the bottom. You may want it to display closer to the document. I think it just depends on how the player is interacting it, what other things are going on in the environment that might distract the player, because if you don't see that prompt text, then it's not going to do any good. So just be aware of that. And we have a tick box here that says lock screen. So what that does is it freezes the screen in place while you're looking at the document. So you can't pan around, you can't look around with the document open. If you don't tick that box, then you can just walk around with the document open on your screen. You can move freely. So again, I think it just depends on the scenario at play. And then lastly, we have a sound effect for picking up and returning the document. It's really just one sound slot. I do always leave credit to the sounds that I use in these. So if you look in the description, you'll see a link to the sound that I'm using for this particular scenario, but you're free to use whatever you like. But that's it. That's the document behavior explained. Like I said, pretty simple, pretty short one. That's okay. They all need to be documented. And in the spirit of keeping this short and sweet, if you like the video, please click all the buttons down below. It really helps me out a lot. I appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.